I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. Score years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of Frederick injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still not free. 100 years later, the life of Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives of lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. 100 years later, the Negro is still longest in the corners of American society and finds himself an exile in his own land. And so we've come here today to dramatize a shameful condition. In sense, we've come to our nation capital to cash a check. When the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, they were signing a promissory note to which every American was to fall here. This note was promised that all men, yes, black men as well as white men, would be granted the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is obvious today that America has defaulted on this promissory note so far as her citizens of color concerned. Instead of honoring this sacred obligation, America has given the Negro people a bad check, a check which has come back marked inefficient funds. But we refuse to believe that the Bank of Justice is bankrupt. We refuse to believe that there are insufficient funds in the greatest vaults of opportunity of this nation. And so we've come to cash the check, a check that will give us upon demand the riches of freedom and security of justice. We have also come to the hollow spot to remind America of his urgency of now. This is no time to engage in the luxury of cooling off or to take tranquilizing drug of gradualism. Now is the time to make real the promises of democracy. Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate valley of segregation of solid path of racial justice. Now is the time to lift our nation from quicksand of racial injustice to solid rock of brotherhood. Now is the time to make justice a reality for all God's children. It would be fatal the nation to overlook the urgency of the moment. This shredding summer of Negros legitimate discontent will not pass until there is an investigatory autumn of freedom and equality. 1963 is not an end but a beginning, and those who hope that Negro needed to blow off steam and will now be content will have a rude awakening if the nation returns to business as usual. And there will neither rest or tranquility in America until the Negro granted his citizenship rights. The whirlwinds of revolts will continue to shake the foundation of our nation until the bright day of justice emerges. But there's something that I must say to my people, who stands up the warm tree sword which leads into the palace of justice. In the process of gaining our rightful place, we must not be guilty of wrong deeds. Let us seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup bitterness and hatred. We must forever conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline. We must not allow our creative projects to degraded into physical violence. Again and again, we must rise the majestic heights of meeting physical force with soul force. The marvelous new military which has engulfed the Negro community must not lead us to trust all white people for many our white brothers. We, as evidenced by their presence here today, have come to realize that their destiny is tied up our destiny, and they have come to realize that their freedom is entirely bound to our freedom. We cannot talk alone. As as we walk, we must make the pledge that shall always march ahead. We cannot turn back. There are those who are asking the devotes of civil rights, when will you be satisfied? We can never be satisfied as long as the Negro is the victim of the unspeakable honors of policy brutality. We can never be satisfied as long as our body heavy with the fatigue of travel cannot gain loading in the motel of the highways and the hotels of the cities. We cannot be satisfied along as the Negro basics mobility is the from a smaller ghetto to a larger one. We can be satisfied as long as children are stripped of their selfhood and robbed of our dignity by sign stating for whites only. We cannot be satisfied as long as a Negro is bisip cannot vote, and a Negro in New York believes he has nothing for which to vote. No, we are not satisfied, and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. I am not unmindful that some of you have come here out of our great trials, tribulations. Some of you have come fresh from narrow jail cells, and some of you have came from areas where your quest from freedom you left, battled by storms of persecution and staggered by the winds of police brutality. You have been the veterans of creative suffering. Continue to work with the faith that a need suffered by is redemptive. Go back to Mississippi. Go back to Alabama. Go back to South Carolina. Go back to Georgia. Go back to Louisiana. Go back to slums and ghetto of our northern cities. Knowing that someone this situation can end will be changed. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. I say to you today, my friends, and so even through may we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in America dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, and sons of former slaves and the sons of former slaves owner will able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day even the state Mississippi, a state swearing that with the of justice swearing with the heat of oppression, will be transferred into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my four little children will one day will live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of the skin, but the color content of character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day down Alabama, with this vicious racist, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of his interposition and nullification. One day, right there, Alabama little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sister and brother. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted and every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough place will be made plain, and the crooked place will be made straight, and glory of the Lord revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope, and this is the faith that I go back to the south with. With this faith, we will able to hew out of our mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will able to transform the jamming discord of our nation into a beautiful sympathy of brotherhood. With this faith, we will able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will free one day. This is this will be the day when all God's children will be able to sing with new meaning. My country, this of this sweet land of liberty of thee I sing. Land where my father died, land for my plagiarism, pride. From every mountain side, let freedom ring. And if America is to be great nation, this must become true. And so freedom ring from prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the heightening allergies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped rock of Colorado. Let freedom ring the curving slopes of California. Let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi. From every mountain side, let freedom ring. And when this happened, when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will able to speed up that day when all God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual. Free at last, free at last. Thank you, God Almighty, we are free at last. Tongue twister. 1 was race horse, 2 was 1 2, 1 race 2 1 2. When you write copy, you have the right to copyright the copy you write. When you write copy, you have the right to copyright the copy you write. Hashtag black spotted hashtag black spot on a black of a black spotted hashtag. Hashtag black spotted hashtag black spot on a black back of a black spotted hashtag. How many cookies could a good cook cooks? If a good cook could cook cookies, a good cook could cook as much cookies as a good cook who could cook cookies. How much ground would a groundhog hog if a groundhog could a groundhog would hug all the ground he could hug if a groundhog could hug ground. Mr. Tongue Twister tried to train his tongue to twist and turn and to twat to learn the letter T. She saw sheriff shoes of the sofa, but was she so sure she saw sheriff shoes on the sofa? 3333 Street Tendering Third Bridge Stamp Mr. Tarver on Thursday. For Furious Friends for the phone. For Furious Friends for that phone. Rory the Wire and Roger the Wire were read wrongly in a ritual brewery. I saw that could also any so I ever saw. So if you happen to see a saw that can outsaw the saw I saw, so I'd like to see the saw you saw. So 7 click slim snake slowly sliding southward. 7 click slim snake slowly sliding southward. I wish to wash my Irish wristwatch. I wish to wash my Irish wristwatch. I wish wash my Irish wristwatch. How much caramel can a cannonball cream in a camel in a cannonball can cram caramel in a camel? He threw 3 free throws. 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 The 33 thieves to that treat the throat through Thursday. I wish to wish the wish you wish to wish. But if you wish the wish wishes, I won't wish the wish you wish to wish. 6 league swamps 50 southwards. 6 leagues swamps 50 southwards. 6 swamps 50 southwards. Bobby Barres bundle of beer in bottle in barrels. Barres bundle of beer bottle in barrels. Bobby buried bundles of beer bottle in barrels.